Hey everybody, Jay Super Awesome here. I'd like to welcome you all to week number 49 of the HORRORman's SlashBack Saturday Challenge. This week's slasher movie theme is 2000's slashers, and I will be giving my review for Silent Scream. Okay, so getting into the plot for this one, it seemed like a really nice way to say thank you. Dr. Barron offers his psychology class a weekend at his remote vacation home because they had helped him with his research. But they barely arrive before the worst starts to happen. One by one, each student disappears. When the class's A student, Nicole, arrives a little late with her friends, she can't help but feel something is wrong. Where is everyone? Perhaps there's an uninvited guest who's just not in a very social mood. Tara is definitely not on vacation in this bloody psychological thriller that mixes friendship, romance, and the ultimate in mind manipulation. They're on vacation, but terror isn't. Okay, so getting into my thoughts for this one. With this week's slasher movie theme of 2000's slashers, I chose to watch and review Silent Scream, released in 2005. Basically because it has a fantastic cold, snowy setting, and this is the perfect time of year to talk about slasher movies with snowy settings. The movie takes place on a secluded island in the northern part of Michigan during the cold winter months. In fact, the characters in this movie actually take a shuttle ferry boat that travels over the icy waters just to get to the island. Once they reach this island, it snows as far as the eye can see. The movie does a really good job of setting up the cold winter atmosphere, even though this is technically not a holiday slasher, but based on the setting of this movie alone, it does mix in pretty well with holiday slasher movies. Basically what we have here is a group of college students who go on a weekend retreat courtesy of their college professor, who they have been helping out with his research. Of course, their weekend turns out to be a nightmare. Overall, I really enjoyed Silent Scream. It's a fun and entertaining slasher movie. I thought the storyline was pretty decent, and they did add a pretty interesting twist at the end. The twist wasn't really anything all that groundbreaking or all that memorable, but at least they did try to do something interesting and original, even though it wasn't really hard to figure out where they were going with this one. Another thing that I wanted to talk about is the cover art. While I really do like this cover art, I feel like if you've seen it sitting on a video store shelf, or if you even seen it while browsing online, you might not even realize that this is a slasher movie based off this cover art. I feel like this cover art suggests that this could be some sort of supernatural horror movie, maybe even a ghost movie, but it is in fact a slasher movie. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about the cast of characters we have in Silent Scream. Nicole and Mark are the main characters of this movie storyline. They have recently gone through a breakup, and no matter what they try to do to move on, it's still pretty clear that they still have feelings for each other. So basically, this movie breaks down with two different groups of friends. So Mark and his friends leave out a day early and arrive at the cabin first. In an attempt to get over Nicole, Mark has lined up a threesome. The group is amped up for sex and partying, but before too much fun can be had, they start getting picked off one by one. The next day, Nicole's group of friends show up at the cabin and notice right away that something is wrong, because nobody from the first group is anywhere to be found, other than a human nipple laying in the snow. Now, they probably should have questioned their safety a little bit more seriously at this point, but in true slasher movie fashion, the second group start getting picked off one by one. And that's another really good thing I can say about this movie, is the pacing is great. You don't really go any long time periods without there being kills. So they did a really good job with the pacing of this movie. Overall, the characters are pretty standard for a slasher movie. There is some character development. I mean, we do get to know them good enough before they start getting picked off. I also wanted to mention the college professor who teaches a psychology class. He has been doing a study on dreams that both groups of friends have participated in as a part of their class. For the most part, I did enjoy these characters. They are exactly what you expect a group of college students to be, and I did think the acting was pretty good. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about the most important part of a slasher movie, that is the killer and the kills. I really like the look of the killer in this movie. It's basically the same look as the killer from the slasher movie Urban Legend. But I do really think it works for this movie based off this movie's cold and snowy setting. The killer is wearing a big jacket with a hood with a blacked out mask that's covering the face. The ending reveal of who the killer is and what is going on I thought was pretty interesting, but not necessarily one of my favorite setups for a slasher movie ending. But with that being said, I still appreciate that they were still trying to do something a little different, even though the chances are you might see it coming from a mile away. And as far as the kills go in this movie, it has a pretty high body count with a good variety of kills. We have everything from a suffocation, a drowning, a beheading. A guy gets his face smashed in by the killer's boot by repeatedly getting stomped on. The killer also has set a trap that causes body dismemberment. We also have somebody getting chopped with a two-sided chopping axe. Overall, I really did enjoy Silent Scream. I thought it was a pretty decent slasher movie. I'm going to give it a 6.5 out of 10, so please like, subscribe, comment below. Let me know if you have seen Silent Scream, or just let me know what you think about my review. And as always, I would like to thank you all for watching.